Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Miller. I am hopping on live today to talk about having fun during the interview process and even while you are preparing for interviews. Yes, the interview process can actually be fun. I have fun with it, which is good because I'm a recruiter, but even you can even have a good time on when you are a candidate. And I'm a big why person. So let's talk about why this matters. Why is it important and how can it actually help you if you are enjoying yourself during the interview and even while you are preparing for the interview? Well, think about it like this. Are you more of your most authentic self when you are having fun or when you're not having fun? And do you feel your most comfortable and confident when you are actually enjoying yourself? I'm sure that the answer is yes. So if you can conjure this up, your authentic self where you are having fun and enjoying yourself, of course, while being professional, of course, during the interview process and even while you are preparing, then you're naturally going to be more confident and you're going to be yourself during the interview. And that is important because you want to have connection and you're looking for connection with the hiring manager and they're looking for that from you. And they won't be able to connect with you if they're not seeing the real you. So it's totally okay to be nervous sometimes during the interview process. And I think when we're nervous, that could be for a couple different reasons. And there's good nerves, and I'm going to say there's bad nerves as well. A bad reason to be and or feel nervous for an interview is because you didn't prepare, or maybe because you're not interested. So if you're like me, I don't really have much of a poker face. I actually used to do acting, and that's a different thing that I can do. But when it comes to my genuine interest and my genuine feelings with people and situations, I can't really fake that. So that would be one reason where I might be a bit uncomfortable or nervous in an interview if I'm not really interested in the opportunity. So if you didn't prepare or you're not really interested, then those are not really good nerves. But if you are interested and you want to do well and you have some stake in the game, these are good nerves. And so it's okay to be nervous during an interview. And typically, once you get going, once you get into the conversation, then you feel more comfortable and the nerves tend to fade a little bit. All right. So we talked about why it's important to actually have fun during an interview while being professional. But let's talk about how you can actually enjoy the interview. And I think it comes down to perspective and maybe shifting your perspective if you're someone that tends to feel uncomfortable during interviews. And hiring managers can do this too. Hiring managers, of course, you guys have a lot on your plates. And so when you have to take time away from your leadership duties and your busy workday to do an interview, especially if the candidates may be not really a fit, then this can feel pretty daunting. But if you've got, a good candidate that's a good potential fit, so candidates and hiring managers can both approach the interview process with curiosity and excitement. And this is kind of what I like to call a winning success habit that can help in other areas in life as well. When you approach a situation with curiosity, then you're naturally going to be more open. And in conversations, we want to be open. We want to be open to share about ourselves and we want to be open to learning about the other person, the hiring manager, the company, the opportunity, and vice versa. If the hiring manager wants to be open learning about the candidate. So if you can, this can also help you to feel less nervous. If you are more approaching the opportunity to interview with curiosity, this is an opportunity to learn and it's also an opportunity to share about yourself. And sometimes I'll hear candidates say that they don't like to brag about themselves, but I actually challenge this. I think this is, I'll just say it. I'm a direct person. I think this is laziness. If you don't feel comfortable talking about yourself and your achievements, you probably didn't take time to prepare to talk about yourself and your achievements. I've also heard candidates share with me before, if they send me their resume and there's no performance numbers on their resume, I don't know what you did. I don't know how you performed. And I've heard this excuse before. I don't like to brag about myself. But the interview process, this is where you want to showcase your strengths, your value, your experience, what you're bringing. And this is an opportunity for you to talk about that and to share what you have to offer, where you've been, what you've done with the hiring manager. So this is another way to look at interviews where it can make it more fun, where think of it as an opportunity to share about yourself. Okay, so curiosity and excitement. So that would be the excitement piece. Get excited about what you have achieved and to talk about what you have achieved and what you're capable of. Getting distracted because my cat looks like he wants to do something with the computer here. Live videos. This one is going better so far, knock on wood, than the last live I did. If you tuned into that one or watched the replay, I apologize. I was getting over some kind of cold thing that has been going around, and I got a coughing attack in the middle of it. And so I had to just stop the video. It was like, I felt like my voice got scooped out and I just couldn't get it back. So then I had to rewind and cut out the coughing so that you guys didn't have to see that. But anyway, if you tend to get nervous for interviews and or uncomfortable, or you just look at it like it's a daunting kind of a thing that it's necessary, you have to do it, but more like you have to do it. See if you can shift your perspective to more like something that you get to do, and let this help you to get curious and excited about the opportunity to share about yourself. So when you shift your perspective, how you look at a situation, what you're going to get back is going to be different. Let's talk about how you can actually have fun preparing for the interview. And maybe I'll do another video about like how much time you should be spending preparing for the interview. You, I think that for each opportunity, for the first interview, you don't have to spend a ton of time researching the company. Yes, absolutely. Do enough research about the company to be able to confidently and clearly articulate your interest and why. But it's a learning opportunity. And the more you learn about the opportunity, if it is a fit, your interest is going to grow. And you want to be genuine. You wouldn't come to a first interview having just being all in for that opportunity without learning about it. So, but as far as other than, so you could keep the preparation time for the specific opportunity at a minimum initially, and then it'll progress more as you go. But what about your preparation about around yourself? So this isn't I didn't say that the best way, but you want to spend more time preparing yourself and to talk about yourself for the interview process. And once you do that then you're going to be ready and able to then do it again. Like you'll have done the work, and then it won't take as much time to just kind of refresh, review what you have prepared. So what I mean is you want to prepare your own resume. I've got another video on that, and maybe I'll do more. I actually don't really believe in resume writers because there's usually mistakes, and or they might word something in a way to elevate your status or your experience, but it might be skewed a little bit. It might not actually be true. I've seen that before too. But aside from all of that, one reason that it's good to write your own resume is this can actually pump you up for the interview process. So when we have to take the time to sit down and prepare a resume, prepare our interview questions, prepare maybe a brag book, review our performance, whether it's sales numbers or a different kind of work that you do, basically your achievements. When you're sitting down to prepare to be able to speak to those, this is going to pump you up. This is going to get you feeling confident and excited. And this is how it can be fun. I talked before, I did another whole video on doing a why me presentation. If you don't want to do a whole presentation, at least do a slide or either an additional slide on a slide deck that you're going to be sharing if you're doing like a 30, 60, 90-day business plan, or if you are doing a brag book or just like a small book of your performance numbers, company generated documentation, you can add one page. At least just do something to showcase why you. And this is going to prepare you. Number one, it's going to boost your confidence because you are reminding yourself of what you are capable of by thinking about what you've already achieved, and not just what, but how you did it. And that is going to make you feel really good. And then you can bring this genuine confidence and excitement and appreciation for yourself in the value that you bring into the interview. And so then you're going to be more of yourself, and you'll have a better connection because you'll actually be enjoying the conversation because you're not so worried. You're less worried about what they want to hear or what they might want to hear or might not want to hear. What are they going to ask next? You're just ready to talk about yourself. Of course, you're going to let the interviewer guide the conversation and answer the questions that they're asking so they can cover what they need to, but you're ready to talk about you and what you're capable of, where you've been, what you've done, and you're ready to have fun with it. So one is going to pump you up to sit down and do your own preparation, your own resume. A couple other things I'll talk about as well. So it's going to pump you up and it's going to give you more confidence. And this is the other thing, it's going to give you practice. So when you're preparing your own resume and your own brag book or why me presentation and your own interview questions, you're practicing talking about yourself. And so then you're just naturally going to do a better job of that, going into the interview. And you can prepare your resume and whatever other materials you're going to prepare for the interview just once, and then tweak them a little bit as needed for each additional interview process. So it might take a lot of time on the front end, maybe 5 hours, something like that. It really just depends. Like a lot of times when we don't feel like doing something, then we get started. All we have to do is just get started, and then this creates momentum, and then you actually feel like doing it. So I'll just touch on them a couple things real quick. So I work for myself, so I don't need to have a resume prepared. But a while back, somebody that I collaborate with was thinking that he might know somebody that might need a recruiter, and he felt like it might be a good opportunity for me. So I didn't have all the details on it, but I said, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and prepare my resume. So I had one already, but I hadn't updated it in a while because I've been working for myself for a while. So I took maybe 2 hours to update it and look back at my numbers and all of that. And then putting that together, it made me feel really good and really confident, like, wow, look what I achieved. So this is also going to help you in other areas of your life, because when you sit down to take time to prepare for an interview, this is an investment in yourself, and you are reminding yourself of your past achievements. So not only are you going to feel more confident and excited and energized going into that interview and ready, but you're also going to feel like that throughout your day. And we attract more of what we put out. And so it's just this is an investment in yourself. Anytime you take the time to prepare for any step in the interview process, I promise you it is an investment in yourself. So I guarantee that day that I took the time to sit and prepare my resume, I walked outside with my head held a little bit higher because I'm proud of what I did. And maybe I wasn't thinking about it anymore, but I'm still carrying that feeling with me. So this is part of the point that I want to make. If you take time to invest in yourself by preparing for the interview process, you're going to elevate your confidence, and then you're naturally going to you're going to be more genuine. You're going to be more yourself. You're going to take this into the interview. And anyway, with the resume, nothing ever happened with that one opportunity. There was like some miscommunication, confusion there, but I didn't view it as a waste of time. Now I have my resume done, and I even actually ended up needing it later because I applied to a master's program, which I'm starting here in a couple weeks. Really excited about it. It's industrial and organizational psychology. And in applying, you had to submit your resume. I'm like, oh, great, my resume is done. And then real quick on the Why Me presentation, I won't get too deep into this because I did another whole video on this, but I think it's so important. So I had an interview, and somebody asked me to interview, and I wasn't really I like working for myself. So I wasn't thinking that would be a good direction for me to go, but I really respected the person and the company. And so of course I took the interview, and I thought maybe I could learn more, I could share more, and see if we might have a common ground where a mutual, if maybe we could come to an agreement that's beneficial for both of us. Maybe anyhow. So I took time to, I don't know, I just got the idea for some reason to put together this Why Me presentation. And I don't think that he ever even looked at it because it was too long. It was probably like 15 slides. But it made me feel so good to sit there and look at, these are all of my achievements. I did all of this. And I still feel really good about that. I'm sure you can tell just in, my energy talking about it. And I later used slides and information from that why me presentation for an aspect of my business, and what do I want to call it? Another slide deck for another business presentation for part of what I do. And then I already had it done. So you never know what that time investment is later going to lead to, but it will definitely elevate your confidence and your self-esteem going into the interview so that you can be genuine, you can be authentic, you can have fun sharing about yourself, and you will also be prepared to talk about these things because you just took the time to sit and write and review and all of that. So let me see if there's anything else that I missed here. So curiosity, excitement, yeah, the interview process, this is an opportunity to connect, it's an opportunity to learn, and it's an opportunity to share. And if you approach the interview as that, an opportunity to learn and to share, you're going to be more likely to get moved forward to the next step versus if you approach it with fear. What are they going to say? What do they want to hear? Am I going to get moved forward? I don't have another opportunity lined up. If you, let's say you got laid off, and so you're in between jobs, and this can be stressful, but depending on, of course, it's naturally stressful, but it doesn't really have to be. Depends on your focus. Is your focus on curiosity and excitement? I wonder what my next opportunity is going to be like. I know that I want this, and I want this, and I want this, but I don't know anything else. I'm just gonna try any direction that feels right, any company, any opportunity that feels right, and I'm going to learn and trust that. Also, if you take the time to prepare in the ways that I talked about so far in the video, this is going to help you to adopt more of an abundance mindset where you're going into the interview knowing I have value. If this opportunity is not the one, another one will come. The right one will come. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Also, another way that you want to prepare for interviews is questions. So this is a topic for another video. And on the last video that I had to cut it like halfway through, I didn't get to share all the content that I wanted to. It was about asking the tough questions. And this goes for both the hiring manager and the candidate. So what are tough questions? Tough questions are questions that we are afraid or uncomfortable asking. Maybe we don't want to know, or yeah, maybe of course, we want to know the answer. Maybe we're afraid that the answer is not going to be what we want to hear, or maybe we're afraid of making the other person uncomfortable. So it is very important that you, while you may be open to different types of opportunities, different industries, or different spaces within that industry, I'm sure that you have some key non-negotiables, some things that are really important to you. So when I was even up and coming in my career and trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go, I didn't label it as such because I wasn't where I am now. So now I know that one thing that drives me is freedom. So I don't like working in an office where I'm sitting behind a desk and I'm clocking in and these kinds of things. That does not motivate me. It makes me actually feel pretty anxious. So knowing this, I'm going to form my questions going to an interview to help me learn what I need to know, to help me understand, am I going to have a sense of freedom working in this company, in this opportunity? Whatever your non-negotiables are, those few things that you need, form your questions around those. And then how you can, if you're worried about making the other person uncomfortable with your questions, one great way, whether you are worried about that or not, one great way to ask your questions, I think I've been looking for a term for this. I'm going to call it storytelling questions or sharing questions. I think I like storytelling questions. You can use your questions as an opportunity to share about yourself. So for example, rather than just having a generic kind of, you might really want to know the answer, but depending on the way you ask it, this can be important too. And you can create a more conversational flow to the interview, or it can do the opposite. Let's say company culture is very important to you. Well, a good culture is subjective. What a good culture is to you is going to be something different maybe to another person. So how you can have a more effective conversation, a more open sharing conversation, is with a storytelling question. So you could, instead of saying, can you share a little bit about the company culture? A good company culture is important to me. The hiring manager or the recruiter has no idea what that means. Everybody wants good, but what is good to you? So instead you might say, I'm interested in learning more about the culture, the kinds of culture, the kind of company culture that I thrive in is X because of X. And that just takes like 10 seconds to share, and then you've opened the question for them to share back, and then you've got a more flowing conversation. And this is a fun way to ask your questions because it's an opportunity to share about yourself without worrying whether or not it's going to be a fit. You want to approach the interview with excitement and curiosity, just an opportunity to share. So I wanted to mention about the way to get your tough questions answered too. And so let's say if you're afraid of the answer, like let's say you're coming out of a culture that felt kind of toxic to you. Like maybe have some people on the team that are kind of negative, or maybe you had a manager that was you felt kind of micromanaged you, and you didn't like these things. There's a positive way to spin that just by talking about what you like, and maybe you're afraid of the answer because what if it is a micromanaging culture, and what if they're not going to share that information with you? If you focus, remember, shift your perspective to one of openness, curiosity, excitement to learn, and then you share about yourself first, and then you see what they say. And if the interview process, this is an opportunity for you to learn if this is a fit. Remember, you have value to bring, so you don't need to make this opportunity a fit if it's not. Your job throughout the interview process is to learn, and it's much more fun to do that if you approach each interview with curiosity and excitement, and if you take the time to prepare in the ways that I talked about, where you can actually get excited before the interview, and then you get some practice in as well. I think that is likely it for this video. And it's getting dark out and the lighting is getting dark, so it's a good time to hop off. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the chat. I'll come back to those later. If you got some value from the video, I invite you to like and subscribe. That will help me grow the channel. And you're also welcome to book a call on my calendar if you're looking for some one-on-one support, potentially for career coaching and or interview coaching. We can have a quick call and see if it might be a fit to work together. And you can also check out my course. It's available on my website. Track the opportunity, win the interview. And I'm coming out with my next one very soon. Heed your intuition, hone your hiring process. And that one is going to be for hiring managers. I will see you guys in the next one.